Hi guys, my name's Lauren. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review for you on some Makeup Revolution products. Today I'm going to be testing out the foundation as well as the concealer. This is not going to be necessarily a first impression of the products. I have been testing these out for the past few days. So basically I'm going to show you the application, how they apply, what they kind of look like on the skin, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on both of the products. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below and let me know in the comments if you're new to this channel. I would love to say hi to you. I will also leave my Instagram on the screen here as well as in the description box below. But so without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the review. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the foundation. So now this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. So here you can kind of see what the product looks like. So just some details about this. This is cruelty-free and vegan. You get 0.8 fluid ounces, which is a little bit smaller than a typical standard foundation, which I'm surprised about because it seems pretty large. It does have I'll show you here, a pretty large doe foot applicator. It kind of is reminiscent of the Tarte Shape Tape to me. I typically prefer pumps with foundations, but I do still like this applicator. It goes for $12 on Ulta's website, and it comes in 24 shades. And I have mine here in the shade F6.5. I think Ulta does a good job of showing the shade range on their website because it not only shows a little swatch, which I feel like is hard to go off of, it has a description of the shade. So whether it's fair, light, medium, dark, tan, whatever it is, but then also the undertone. So whether you're looking for cool, neutral, or warm, it does a pretty good job of mapping out what the shades are going to look like. For some of the claims, it says oil-free, lightweight, comfortable wear, long-lasting. It also claims to have a demi-matte finish and says that it won't settle into fine lines or cling to dry patches. So let's see, let's go ahead and get into the application. So now, like I said, I know some people feel like it isn't necessarily sanitary to be dipping back into it, but I mean, I'm the only person who's going to be using this. I did, wash my face prior to this. The only thing I have on my skin now is moisturizer and primer. So I don't know, I kind of like the applicator. I think it makes it easy. So now, usually for when I'm testing out a new foundation, I like to do it with a sponge on one side and a brush on the other. But since I've been using this product and testing it out, I kind of already know, and it's pretty typical for me, I do prefer a sponge with the foundation. So I feel like it blends out pretty easily. As you can see, I did just go ahead and put it all over my face. I wasn't too worried about it getting too dry and not being able to blend it out. So now here is the foundation blended out. For this, I would call a medium coverage. I wouldn't necessarily call this full coverage right now like it claims. As you can see here, I do have some scarring on this side, so I'm going to try and go back and build that up, see if we can cover that up some. And so a little bit of redness around my nose. I do agree with the demi-matte finish and that it does feel very lightweight. As you can see the shade here, I feel like it's a pretty good match. I feel like it's looking a little bit pale on camera, but I do feel like it matches my neck fairly well. So right now I'm going to go in and add a second layer and see if we can build this up some. Just going to apply it more to the spots where I feel like I need it. So I do feel like this foundation is buildable, so I just am now blending out that second layer. And I don't feel like it really got cakey or anything like that. I feel like it's pretty smooth. I do feel like I was able to cover up pretty much all of the redness on my nose. You still see this scarring showing a little bit through, and this red spot here is actually a bug bite that I unfortunately got on my face, but for the most part I would call this medium to full buildable coverage. So now under my eyes, I am going to go in with the concealer in a little bit here. I don't really have too many fine lines. I have some here under my eyes, so I don't feel like it's like horribly like sinking into them, anything like that. It does have the one claim that it says it won't cling to dry patches. I think it looks okay right now. I do have combination skin, so I usually get oily in my T-zone, but then kind of dry around my chin and mouth area. I have been trying out this foundation for the past few days, and I do feel like depending on how my skin is that day, it can kind of, I think, cling to the dry patches I have like around my chin and mouth. Today I feel like my skin is pretty well hydrated, so I feel like it's okay. It does have a nice finish to it, but I do think that that's something to be mindful of. So now I've given the foundation a few minutes to set. I do feel like it dries down pretty well. It's not super tacky. I will probably just go in with a light dusting of powder to set it before I blend on the rest of my makeup. But I do agree with that demi-matte finish. I think it dries down pretty well. But at the same time, like, it doesn't look powdery on the skin. I think it does have a nice finish. I think that, though, if you do have more dry skin, I don't know that you're really going to like the finish of this one. So now we're ready to go in with the concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. So I believe the idea of this is that it can be used as a concealer, but you can choose like a deeper shade for your skin tone to use as a contour shade. But today I'm just going to be focusing on the concealer purpose of it. So the concealer also comes in 24 shades. It contains 0.14 fluid ounces, which I feel like is kind of small for a typical concealer, which I believe is normally like 0.25 fluid ounces. But it is only $7 on Ulta's website, so it's a pretty good price point. But I do believe they also just came out with the super size of this. I want to say is like $10. It's a larger size. I'm not sure how many ounces that one is. So for the claims, it says that it's lightweight yet full coverage, covers blemishes, even skin tones, counteracts dark circles, has a matte finish, and that it won't settle into or accentuate fine lines and pores. So for mine, I got it in the shade C2, and this kind of has more of a yellow undertone to it, which I like. And it kind of has the same doe foot applicator, just a little bit smaller than the one on the foundation. It feels really nice and smooth going on. So now I did just let the concealer sit for a minute, which I typically do with all of my concealers, but now I'm ready to go in and blend it out with the sponge. I do think it's really easy to blend out. And I think it does a fairly good job of covering those dark circles, which I definitely have. And this I also like to go over my eyelids. I think it works as a nice eyelid primer as well, just as long as you set it down with like a translucent powder. So now I don't know how well you can see. I feel like it is settling a tiny bit into those fine lines, but I think it's going to be pretty much impossible for any concealer to totally cover up any fine lines, because it is a liquid and it is going to settle into there a little bit, but I don't feel like it's accentuating them. I do have some larger pores in this region, but I don't feel like it's accentuating them or really settling into those pores. So here is the foundation and concealer all blended out. So I'm just gonna go and finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back to tell you my thoughts. Okay guys, so I just finished the rest of my makeup. If you're interested in seeing this eye look, I just filmed a tutorial and review on this using the new e.l.f. Modern Metals eyeshadow palette, and then I also reviewed the lip products and the blush and highlighter palette. So if you're interested in that, I will link it down below. If it's been up yet, I'm not sure which order these videos are going to go up. But so for the foundation, I do feel like it set down really nicely. I was able to blend out those blushes and highlighters out really nicely on top. I also used the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Bronzer, which I feel like blended out really nice and smoothly on top of that too. I do feel like it has pretty good staying power. I do agree with the claims that it has that demi-matte finish. I don't feel like it settles into really any fine lines or pores. I feel like it kind of glides nicely over top of that. I feel like it does have a medium to buildable full coverage finish. I do think that depending on, the condition of your skin, I do think it can cling to some dry patches. So I just be mindful of that. Make sure you are exfoliating your skin and moisturizing really well. So I think for the price point of both of these, the $12 foundation as well as the $7 concealer, I feel like they're really great drugstore options. I also think it's amazing that this drugstore brand for this foundation and concealer both have the 24 shades. So I feel like that's a really great shade range, and I think they do a good job of variation, the colors as well as the undertones. So all in all, I would give both of these products a thumbs up. I definitely recommend both of them. I think they're great, affordable drugstore options. So let me know in the comments down below if you've tried either of these products and what your thoughts are. Also, let us know your skin type, whether you're more dry, oily, or combination, so we can kind of gauge how it's going to work with different types of skin. But if you like this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this to come. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.